Wow, y'all, this is the last time that I am filming an intro to a Canada vlog. I can't believe that. So we don't have a full week this week. It's only going to be 4 days that I'm going to be spending with you all in this video. Today, Monday, then Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday is my last day. I'm so sad. My mission for this week is to continue knitting on my tulip loop roll neck until I run out of my mohair. I applied for a test knit before the weekend started, and I'm supposed to hear back today if I got selected, and I'm really hoping I did. It would be for a crochet sweater, so if I get selected, then I'll also be starting working on that this week. Yeah, that's what we've got going on. I plan to go to yarn stores twice this week. It's Monday, and kind of like nowhere is open on Mondays in Montreal for some reason. If any Montreal locals can explain in the comments, I would love that. But I want to go back to La Bobineuse and Biscotte yarns before I leave. As for today, I have made a ton of progress this morning on the first sleeve of my tulip loop roll neck, and I'm actually headed to the movie theater. I'm gonna go see The Brutalist, which is a very long movie, and my goal was to get to the ribbing of the sleeve, which I accomplished. Woohoo! And I was hoping to get that far because I can knit one by one ribbing without looking. Maybe not very well, but I can do it. So kind of a perfect little movie theater project. Also ribbing, like I definitely like to have something to watch that I can zone out on while I'm working on it. So that's what we're gonna go do. This is probably be my last time going to this movie theater by us that I love so much. So I'm excited because this movie is supposed to be incredible. So what a great one to go out on. That's all. Let's go start our last week of adventures in Canada. Today is going to be a pretty expensive day, which is not my favorite kind of day, but I have a few things I need to go shop for. As you've probably noticed by now, this Airbnb is covered in like really beautiful pieces, and we brought our cat with us, and 2 or 3 days ago, he did knock over a little milk jar for like when you're making coffee, just like to have on the table, one of those small ones, and it shattered. So I'm gonna go pick up a replacement for that today. We already told our host, don't worry, and he was very sweet about it. We are staying right by McGill University, and the whole time that we've been here, I've been dying to get some McGill swag. So today I'm gonna go to their campus store and see if I can get like a hat or a sweatshirt or something. I think it'll be like the perfect souvenir from this trip. But we're gonna be starting our day by heading back to Biscotte Yarns, which I've been to a few times in these vlogs. I mentioned to you guys yesterday that I had applied for a pattern test. Last night, I found out on our way to dinner that I got selected, so I'm really excited. I'm going to be testing the ruffle raglan pattern by Crow Shelby on Instagram. I'm very excited about this one. I don't always love crochet sweaters. Like, I feel like they have to be very specific for me to like the look of them and the fabric that they make. Something about this one, I don't know, I just thought it was really cute. I just like love the very simple idea of adding a ruffle along the raglan. I think the way that hers fits her is exactly how I always want my raglans to fit, and then they never do. So I'm curious to see how she maps out the raglan recipe. And even more importantly, the reason that I was drawn to the idea of doing this design is because you can use whatever yarn you want. It's made to measure. And as you guys know, I've been trying to find a project for this sweater that I'm frogging. Last week, I tried to turn the different yarns from this sweater into a balaclava, to no success. When I saw the tester call for the ruffle raglan, I knew that it would be so cute worked up in this fluffy yarn. Part of the issue that I had with this sweater, I mean, this is just now a mangled panel, but the sweater that this once was, is that this color is tricky. It's called salmon, which doesn't really make sense to me. It's like this very muted rose pink. I'd originally paired it with a really bright yellow because pink and yellow, cutesy wootsy. It didn't end up working together. The muted rose with the bright yellow was just like not cute. Biscotte Yarns does not carry Wow Fluffy by Katia, but they actually carry a similar Katia yarn that I think is going to work with this. Spoiler alert, I did already look online at what they offer in store in terms of color, and I think I have a good idea of what I want. I think the key is going to be to not try and turn this into a pink sweater, but rather focus on the more muted tones of it. Which is not normally my thing, but I was thinking about it, and I think with the cutesy nature of the ruffle, leaning more into muted might make it more wearable than if I lean into bright, because leaning into bright might feel little kitty. So I think that's the direction that we're going to go in. By the way, I made a lot of progress on my tulip loop yesterday. I finished the first sleeve and I already picked up the stitches for the second. I knit the first sleeve to the length that the pattern calls for, but it actually already feels pretty long to me, and I know this sweater is going to grow a ton with blocking with all the cables. So I think my plan is that I will knit the second one as written in the pattern as well, but I think I'm just gonna like anticipate frogging after blocking. I'm thinking that I could probably get away with doing one less cable repeat. Like, it's pretty long. Anyway, that's my update on that. I would like to think that I'm going to keep working on this today, but I know myself, and I know that once I buy the yarn for this crochet project, I'm probably gonna end up working on that crochet sweater today. Okay, so I went out shopping this morning and then I spent the afternoon starting my crochet raglan. I haven't been working on it for that long. I've basically just been starting the collar. The yarn that I found for this project is unbelievably beautiful. I wasn't fully convinced on a surefire direction that I wanted to go in on this sweater. I was originally going in thinking I was going to pick up some muted tones of that other Katya yarn, but then they had all these beautiful skeins of this Lang yarn. This is Lang Muse yarn. It's hand dyed. And this is a blend of alpaca, polyamide, and wool. And this is certainly not muted, but it's very complementary to that original Dusty Rose color. So I'm very excited about that. In that same Katya line that I was originally going to purchase from, I picked up this bone white color. So this is Concept by Katya Reiki wool. It's very soft. It's a really nice mix of alpaca and merino. So the whole like fiber blend of the sweater is going to be pretty relatively consistent, which is good. So that's exciting. I started working on this project, but I can't tell if it's that the math is off or if I just really need a coffee, so I'm gonna bring this with me and go grab one. But I also needed to tell you guys, so I'm like hunched over, I'm trying not to blind myself in the sun. Ever since like last week or the week before when I first said in a vlog that I was running out of the alpaca blaze that I'm using in my tulip loop sweater, I have found like a skein every 3 days. I started packing my suitcase to go home today and I found another skein of this, so I don't know, now my attention is kind of divided between these two sweaters, but there's definitely a world in which I could have this like cast off by the time we get to New York City on Friday. Now that I know I have plenty of materials to get it done, kind of nothing's stopping me. Okay, that's enough talking. I have to go get like a cappuccino or something. My goodness. This morning I woke up and I decided I'm gonna get this sleeve done. I got up really early and I knocked out an hour of progress on the sleeve. And now I'm just camped out at a cafe and I'm just gonna see how long I can work on this. I just put on an hour-long podcast and just knit for the whole time. And I got a lot of work done and now I'm just kind of taking a break and like stretching my wrists and drinking water and stuff. But I already have 3 of the tulip cable repeats done, so I only need to have 7 on each sleeve. The second sleeve always goes so much faster for me. Once I get one done and I kind of know the rhythm, I'm able to just crank out the second. So I think we might be able to get it done by the time I leave, but we'll see. We'll see. That was such a productive afternoon at the coffee shop. Oh my gosh. I got through 4 cable rows on the sleeve, so pretty cool. I've been taking a little break for a little while. I was just napping a bit. Oh, hey. Even though I've been knitting a lot today, I still am feeling really good. Normally, if anything, I tend to feel a little bit of like upper back stiffness, and I haven't even been getting that. So I've been taking a long break and stretching just in case, because I have been doing a lot of knitting, but feeling good. So I think I'm going to keep working on it. I'm on a roll. Oh, I forgot to mention, at the beginning of the video, I said I was going to go to 2 yarn stores. I thought that I was going to go to Biscotte Yarns and La Bobinuse, but I went to Biscotte yesterday, and that Lang yarn skein that I got, I'm really excited about it. It's so beautiful and worth it, and I'm glad I got it. It's a bit pricier than the original yarn that I was looking at to buy yesterday, and so after investing in that yesterday, I don't feel the need to go yarn shopping. I don't really need any more yarn. I've bought a lot on this trip, so there's no real need to go back to La Bobinuse. The rest of today and tomorrow is really just going to be about seeing how much knitting I can get done and enjoying my last few visits to some of my favorite cafes and restaurants. It's gonna be a quick little check-in because I have to go meet Eddie for dinner, but guys, I'm like shook. I don't know what's happening. I just feel like some days I am a really fast knitter and most days I'm like average to like slow, honestly. I can't stress enough. Like I've done 5 of the tulip cables, 5 of the tulip cables out of 7 on this sleeve. That's nuts. This is where I started my day, and it's like 7:30. It's so crazy. And I promise, I'm like taking breaks. I'm like stretching and stuff. I'm not feeling like I'm going too crazy at this. I don't know. Let's go get dumplings. Oh, thank you. Anyway, this is crazy weather, right? Alright, bear with me. I'm a little emotional. I finished my tulip loop sweater this morning, and while, yes, I've finished a lot of sweaters before, this one feels really special. And I thought that to wrap all of this up, I would tell you why. First of all, and this is no small thing, when I first selected this pattern, it seemed impossible to me. I've said in a previous video on this channel that I thought that this sweater would take me a year to make. So when I was choosing projects to bring with me on this trip, knowing that we would be here for a little over 6 weeks and I could spend a lot of time knitting, I chose this one because I thought, oh great, I'll make a lot of progress on it while we're here. And then for like kicks and giggles, I made a little challenge for myself. In the first vlog of this series, I said my like dream goal is to have this sweater cast off by the time that we leave on February 14th, but I'm going to be kind of loosey-goosey on that. I kind of said that just like to motivate myself to get through this, but I never thought, I don't know, I just really didn't think that that was realistic. I'm so happy to say that I finished this sweater right before noon on the last full day of our trip. I can't believe that, and in terms of like my knitting and my crafting and my skill level, I'm really proud of myself because that tells me that I have underestimated how much I've improved skill-wise. This is a really difficult sweater, and this is like a really large project, and the fact that I finished this in 6.5 weeks and I made a whole other sweater on this trip. I made my kaleidoscope cardigan, and I finished multiple other whips while I was here, and I still finished this. Like, I want to pat myself on the back a little bit because that's really impressive. So it's cool for that reason. But more meaningfully to me, and this is where things get sappy, is what this sweater represents in terms of where I am at in my life. So my partner and I have both lived in New York City for almost 10 years. A little under a year ago, we decided that it just wasn't really the place for us anymore. I love New York City, but there were just a number of reasons that we both decided that we would like a change of pace and a fresh start somewhere else. And so we are moving back to my home state of North Carolina, and we're actually moving to a smaller town. I'm very excited about moving there, but that doesn't mean that I am not like emotional over just how big of a transition this is. And I'm also very aware of the fact that I am 27. If the show Girls has anything to teach us, and if the experiences of my peers has anything to teach me, this is just the time in life when big changes can happen and like things can start to snap into place, and it might not be in the way that you thought they would. For me personally, that's that I realized that New York City wasn't necessarily my place, at least not for now. This trip was kind of a way for us to buffer the transition from New York City to our new life in North Carolina. I am so grateful for it because I was able to really hunker down and focus solely on my hobbies, knitting and video editing. Those are like my two favorite things to do besides running, but I couldn't really run here because the roads are icy and scary. It is really nice to have this sweater that I started on the drive. I cast this sweater on while we were driving from New York City to Quebec City, and I have finished it while sitting in what became one of my favorite diners in Montreal the day before we go back to New York City. And from New York City, I will be leaving to our new home. It is really profound to me that I finished this sweater all in that time, and that it can serve as a time capsule of a time in my life when things were uncertain but exciting and in a big state of transition. And I chose to spend that time of unknown and of transition and of honestly a lot of fear doing things that make me happy and choosing joy. So I know that sounds really corny, and I know that this is like just a sweater, but it means a lot to me. It's very sentimental to me, and it's so beautiful, and I'm so excited to block it and to wear it. I don't know how much use I'm gonna get out of it in a southern beach town, but it'll look great in my closet. I can think of no more appropriate way to end this whole series than to end it here with the finishing of this tulip loop sweater. Once I block this sweater and make any adjustments that I need to make on it for like final touches and making sure the fit is right, I will likely be making another video, a separate video on this channel, kind of going over my thoughts on the pattern, my thoughts on the yarn that I chose, would I make it again, do I recommend it, all that good stuff. But for now, I think we end this here. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching, because these were so fun to make. I will certainly not be doing them every week, because that would be a lot of work, but I'll definitely be incorporating vlogs into the future of this channel. I'm going to spend the rest of the night just packing and spending time with Eddie and the pets, during our last night here in Canada. But I want to say thank you so much for watching. I'll be back very soon. I'm probably going to take a little bit of time just to get settled in my new place, and then I'll be back with more videos. Be sure to subscribe here if you want to catch up on all the other videos that I made in my time here in Canada. And if you want to catch up with me in the in-between time, be sure to follow me on Instagram. I'm @_the_drop_stitch. And yeah, I hope I said everything I wanted to say. But I guess you can never say everything that you want to say, right? So what a special trip this has been. What a special project this has been. I can't wait to see what else I work up in 2025. And yeah, I'm so grateful for this time that we got to have here. Until I see you all in the next one, please be sure to drink some water, stretch your wrists, and please purl responsibly. See you very soon. Bye!